Hi, everyone. We're just going to give it a couple more minutes just to see if we have more people join, and then I'll go get started. Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar of Unifying Reports. Before we start, uh, let me just introduce myself. As some of you may already know, my name is Milo. I'm one of the support analysts, and I've been with Workbooks for about a year now. And today I'm going to be going through how you can unify your reports using a summary view. We currently have a series of webinars where we're going through some of the basics of reporting within Workbooks. These will be held on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. every other week. And as you can see, this is the program of what we've got coming up and the dates that all the topics will be covered. These webinars will be between 20 and 40 minutes, covering the topics you can see. We do also offer a 2-day training course on reporting where we do go into things in a little more in depth. If you do want more information about this course, please reach out to your account manager and they can go through the details of booking the course with you. With that covered, let's jump in. So, as I said, today we're going to be looking at summary views, why we would use them, how they can be created, and using them, I'll be showing you how to create summarized columns using summarized columns and also split columns. Afterwards, there'll be time for any questions that some of you may have. It's good also to note that along with our future webinars, these will be recorded and also emailed out to you after the webinar. So, what is a summary view? A summary view is an additional view within a report that allows you to group and condense data from another view. It gives you an overview of data where you can focus on key points. You can also do calculations such as totals, subtotals, counts, and averages. It's good to note that you can have multiple summary views within a report, where these can be based on the details view or other summaries that you've created. Building a summary based on another summary is used in more advanced reporting, so we will not be going over it today. Now, this sounds good, but why would you actually want to use them? You may have a report that's based on customer orders. A summary view can help you see what your most popular products are, or even which customer has bought the most from you recently. It can also be added to a dashboard and a springboard. One thing you may want to track is your employees' performance, as shown in the screenshot, or you may want to see how much they have in their current pipeline. You could also have a recent marketing campaign and you want to analyze the response rate. This could be by comparing how many people have opened their email compared to how many people have clicked through on links. Now that you know what a summary view is and how they can be used, let's have a look at actually creating one within Workbooks. So Jean had previously shown how to build a list report. I'm going to build a report to show completed orders for last year. So first, I'm going to build a report from blank. I'm going to base it on customer orders. And I'm also going to give it a name of completed orders for last year. And it's always important that whenever you're building a report to also add a description. For the moment, I'm just going to put in something so that we have it. With that, I'm going to save my report. Now, the first column that I'm going to add is the customer order reference. So let me add that first. And this is simply so that I've got a unique identifier going forward. Next, I'm going to add the customer. And then I'm also going to add the customer order date. And then I shall add the net home currency. As you may remember, Jean said that it's all to always use the home currency, even if you don't deal with multiple currencies. Now, I'm also going to tick display summary and put this as a total. I'm also going to add a couple of criteria just so that we can actually see the orders that we want. So first, for the date, I'm going to put it in a calendar range of the previous calendar year. And I'm also going to put a criteria for the status where the status is posted. This will ensure that I'm just looking at closed orders for last year. Now, if I go add preview, and I'm just going to sort by the customer, you can see that down at the bottom, we can see the total amount of orders that we have here and how many rows that they've got. Now, one thing to also note is that we do have several orders from the same customer. So as this can be a bit confusing, I'm going to now show you how you can actually create a summary view so that you can group all of this information. So to do this, first I'm going to press Add Summary View, which creates a new tab. And I'll be asked to give it a name. So I'm going to just call this Customer Breakdown. And then just save my report. Next thing I'm going to do is add a value column. Now for this, you can see that we've got a few different options. I'm going to go over today subtotal, summarized, and split columns. So when I select a subtotal column, you can see that I'd need to select the column. So in this case, I'm going to select the net, and I can give it a title. But here for the calculate, this is grayed out. And this is because a subtotal column can only do a total. So since that's what I want, I'm going to save and close, and I'm going to preview. Now, it seems like I'm only getting one row. This is because I've not actually said what I want to group by. If I go back in to this column, you can see that I've got this option of grouped by. So for this, I'm going to group by customer. And now when I save and close and refresh my preview, you can see that we've got the total amount showing, and we're only showing 80 rows compared to the previous one where we had slightly more. Now I'm wanting to see how many orders each customer has. So to do this, I'm going to now add a summarized column where I'm going to base that on the customer order reference. So let me just add that in. I'm going to change the calculate now to count. And then I'm going to change the name to order count. So I'll go ahead and save this. And when I refresh, you can now see that we have the total amount of orders which match that. And if I was to find Atlantic Services, you can see that they have 5 orders. Now, one thing that you can do in a summary view is you can drill through to see information. So if I click on this drop-down arrow and go drill into Atlantic Services, you can see that I've now got the information of all 5 orders that Atlantic Services had. So I had also mentioned that in a summary view, you can create a split column. A split column is really useful, allowing you to build a matrix report really easily. You can still calculate the total, you can count things, get the averages, and so forth. But you can take the values and split them across different columns, as well as being able to group them into different rows. Hence, I describe that as a matrix report. To demonstrate this, I've got a report here that Jean had previously created for us that shows open opportunities for Jane Fretwell. While I have all this information, you may just want to see the prospective customers Jane has, the total of their opportunities, and also see the total broken down by stage of the opportunity to create a matrix. Now, to do this, I'm going to add a summary view once again, and I'm going to call it Jane's Open Ops by Stage. And then I'll just save it. And this time I'm going to add a grouping column first, where what I'm going to do is I'm going to group by the prospective customer name. Next, I'm going to create a summarized column so that I can see the total amount of these opportunities. So I'm going to add a subtotal column, and I'm going to select amount home currency, and I'm going to call this column total. So when I save and close and preview, you now can see that we have a list of all of the customers and the total amount of opportunities. Now, as we're about to add some more information, you may want to make these totals stand out. If I click on the total column, you can see that I've got a style tab here. Now, the style tab allows you to do a few different options. You can color the background or text. You can change the alignment. There is also conditioning styling, which we'll be covering in a later webinar. Today, I'm just going to make the column bold. And then when I preview this, you can see that all of the amounts are now showing in bold. As I said, I wanted to see the amounts broken down by stage. And for this, I'm going to add a split column. So I'm going to go add value column and select split column. I'm wanting to see first the amounts. So I'm going to select amount home currency, and I'll leave it there. And next, I've got the option to split by. This is asking which column I wish to split this by, and I'm going to pick stage. And finally, there's the split type. As you can see, we've got 4 options. As we're talking about stages, if I was to pick all pick list values, this would provide all stages that are possible for an opportunity. If I choose all parent values, all values from the parent view, this would only show me the values that are in the details tab. If I go only valid values from the parent view, this would be only values that have data in them. Or finally, there's just values starting with, which is very much like a filter. Depending on what you want to see, you'll need to decide which one you want. I'm going to choose all values from the parent view. Now, with this column saved, and when I refresh the preview, you can now see that I have the total amount first, and then the amount per each stage. And there we go. Apologies. So there we go. As I've shown, a summary view allows you to condense data and can help identify key information. And I would advise that you join us in more webinars. You can attend our training courses and you can watch some videos that we have online. Now, let's see if we've got any questions. And let's have a look. No, it doesn't appear that we do. Okay, so since we don't have any more questions, oh, sorry, just seems like we do have one come in. So first one I can see, how can I make a figure red? Which is a good question. If you're wanting to make a certain figure red, depending on how you, on the styles. Now, depending on how you're wanting to do that, you can like put a text color and you can select a color. If they were minus numbers. For something like that, we would be covering that in the conditional styling for that, so that if it becomes a certain value, then you would style it based on that value due to the conditional styling. So hopefully that answers your question. I can also see that we've got a question of how do you manage to connect 2 or more different reports to pull data? That's a good question. That's actually something that we'll be covering in our next webinar, where we will be looking how to join information in a report from 2 different data tables. And then I've got the question of what is the view icon for? Apologies, Tatiana, if I could just get where exactly you're meaning by the view icon. Next columns. Yep, the view icon, the view tab, sorry, is so that you can actually give your view a name. You can do a little bit of styling. It's just a little bit more information. It is very similar to the view icon in the details tab, where again, you can say what you want the name of that view to be. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Are there any more questions? There doesn't seem to be. Uh, okay, so as I haven't got any more questions at the moment, um, I want to say thank you all for attending. Our next webinar will be about wrangling your records into one report. So that is looking at combining data from one or more data tables. That's going to be on the 26th of March at 4 p.m. Till then, if you do need any help, you can always go to our knowledge base and find the information there. Alternatively, for support contacts, you can get hold of our support team, either by phone, email, or using our case portal. And you can also reach out to your account manager. So thank you for attending, and I'll see you all next time.